Chaos rules in Madhouse, Madison County, Missouri. This rural community should be a safe place, but it hides a dark secret. Fredericktown is one of the most dangerous places to live in America. With a crime rate of 31 per 1,000 residents, Fredericktown has one of the highest crime rates compared to all communities of all sizes. I started researching one case sent to me by a desperate grandmother that led me to 15 more. Then I realized this county has had murder, corruption, and chaos since before the Wild West days. This book will start with a lynching by a Fredericktown mob in 1844 and will end up in an explosion. Hold on to your seats when you read this one. You're in for a wild, chaotic ride through rural Missouri. Check out my new book, Madhouse, Madison County, today. A rugged outdoorsman goes on a 3-day hiking trip in the wilderness just outside of Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada. A few months earlier, Kenny Veach had stumbled upon a mysterious cave. The ground shook near Area 51's bomb testing grounds, but that didn't bother him. Neither did the military drones. But as he neared the cave, a strange sensation washed over him. He said it felt like his body was vibrating. He quickly left the area. Later, he mentioned his experience on a comment in a YouTube video about secret military weapons. This sparked a massive online debate. Was Kenny Veach lying? Was he dehydrated and hallucinating? Or did he stumble upon something he wasn't supposed to see that day? Either way, the internet pushed him to find the cave again, and this time take his camera. That November morning, he was on a mission. He would find the cave and prove to the internet trolls that he wasn't lying and it wasn't all just a hallucination. Unfortunately, Kenny would walk off into the Nevada wilderness and never be seen again. This case is rife with conspiracy theories, trolls, and drama, but at the core of it, we have a missing person case that is still unsolved 10 years later. Grab your tinfoil hats, people. We're going to Nevada. Hi guys, welcome to another True Crime Tuesday. I am your host, Sonova Cantrell. I have two co-hosts on the line with me. I have the lovely Cricket Andrews. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, everybody.
I've also got my research assistant, Miss T, on the line. Hi, Miss T. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Struggling with my hair and struggling with my camera, and so we're good. I've got coffee though, so we'll make it through this, I hope. So, but shout out to Miss T. She helped me research and find about 2/3 of the graphics you just seen in that little ad for today's video. She was the one that sent them to me. So shout out for her. Kudos for her. Now, I will tell you, you will need your tinfoil hat for this one because there is a lot of conspiracies. Now, we don't normally do conspiracy theories on this show. This is a true crime show. I'm a victim's advocate and I've studied psychology. I've studied all these different things. So this is true crime, but this is a true crime with a bit of conspiracy. So I got I got hot glue here. I created my own little tinfoil hat. So there you go. You got a little fedora, so a tinfoil fedora. So you will want to get your tinfoil hat on this one because there is a bit of conspiracy in this show, so we'll be talking about that. I will apologize in advance. My camera's still doing this refocusing thing, and it's driving me crazy. So I will be periodically holding up an evidence bag. You'll see that, but for some reason, when I hold up an evidence bag, it helps my camera refocus. So I will be showing off these evidence bags all evening. So until I get my camera fixed, I can't figure out what settings gotten screwed up. But in the meantime, we're going to be talking about Kenny Veach. Now, there is a massive conspiracy about this man out there, and I have a feeling, as much as I absolutely love conspiracies, I have to say I'm afraid we may not be completely in agreement by the time this is over. I don't like necessarily saying we're debunking anything, but we're going to be kind of half debunking some of this stuff. I am afraid by the time this gets over with.
I just found some more information for the end, an updated thing. So
are you talking about what you sent me?
No, I just that was earlier. I found that this is something I just found out 9 months ago. They found remains,
Yeah, but
but
that wasn't
they
his.
don't know who it is.
Yeah, it wasn't his. I've already seen that one.
Okay.
So, okay, so November 10th, 2014, an avid outdoorsman named Kenny Veach decides to go hiking in the Nevada wilderness near Nellis Air Force Base. Now, he had done this many times. He had basically spent his lifetime out in the middle of the wilderness, out there in the deserts of Nevada. He loved being outdoors. He loved taking things to the extreme. You'll find that we'll go dip into this case a bit. You'll find out that um, I would call him more of an extreme sportsman, but I even hate to call him that, because you're going to find out that he took a lot of risks, and quite frankly, he took a lot of unnecessary ones. And so he's very extreme. He likes to be outdoors. He likes to test his body to see how far he can go. So he will take a bottle of water, but then he will walk until he absolutely has to have water before he'll drink it. He has been, he'll hike for 10 hours, he'll hike for days, he'll hike for miles. He's a long haul hiker. So he is very experienced. He's very athletic. He has plenty of experience at this. I would contend, though, that he would be taking things to the extreme, and not necessarily in a good way. And so we're going to be talking about that. But there is a very famous case. This man in a few months earlier than this, before November 10th, he had been hiking in this area, and he had found this strange cave. He said that this cave was the shape of a large capital M. And he says it was about his height, so it wasn't very tall. But it was this M-shaped cave. Now, he said he goes into, and I quote, 100% of the caves that he comes across, which could be deemed as irresponsible, but he goes into 100% of the caves that he comes across, and he did not go into the M cave. And the reason being, he says he didn't have a weapon with him. He didn't have his camera or anything to verify his adventure on this day. But he said that when he got there, he said the closer he got to this cave, the strange sensation swept over his body. He said he felt this strange vibrating, almost like he's vibrating inside and out, and it scared him. And he ran off and just went on with his hike. He didn't go into the cave. And he said he'd never experienced anything like that before. He didn't necessarily go home and tell everybody about it. It wasn't that big of a thing. He kind of just went on until he started watching a YouTube video about a so-called whistleblower. Now, this whistleblower supposedly had a family that worked in the military, and they said that they had been testing different types of secret weapons, and different types of things with frequency and energy, and all these energy manipulating weapons. Well, so when this came up, he commented on this YouTube channel in the comments and was saying, yeah, I believe this because I had this strange experience out in the Nevada desert. Now, the strange thing is, you will find out that where he is hiking and where he is talking about is right next door to Nellis Air Force Base. It's their bombing and testing site. And so he is literally next to, it's called Nellis Air Force Base, but it is more commonly known as Area 51. So he is literally, here comes our tinfoil hat. He is literally hiking. He is literally hiking the mountains of in the mountains in the deserts of Area 51. I don't think I'm going to be able to wear this. So here, get your tinfoil hat. So he went and commented on his on this YouTube channel, and it wasn't his. He commented on this, and he said, "Hey, I've had this weird experience. I totally believe that the military could be testing these secret weapons because I felt this strange thing." Okay, well, instead of just letting it go at that, of course, all of the people commenting says, okay, where's your proof? They try to call him out on things. He gets defensive. And so then he decides it's been about 4 months of back and forth wrangling between him and his internet trolls. And it's about 4 months of wrangling. And he decides he's going to go back out there and he's going to find the M cave. Well, and he's going to prove to them that he didn't make this crap up. Okay, well, here's the problem. You're going to find out that he couldn't find the cave the first time he went out. And so he decided he was going to go again. And this time he was going to take a 3-day hike. And he didn't care if he didn't find it. He said he was going to keep walking and keep covering the mountains until he did. Well, unfortunately, he didn't return home. He was supposed to be gone for a 3-day hike. And he did not return home after that hike. Now, they have gone out there. There was, as far as I could tell, there were 4 different searches by air and by professional search teams. His body wasn't found. All of his supplies. He was there for 3 days, so he had all of his camping supplies. He had his big pack. He had, a big amount of things with him. The only thing that was found, strangely, in this video, you'll find that we're going to kind of link to here for a minute. You're going to find that he did leave his cell phone at a standard site that he had talked about before and that he had videotaped before. You're going to find out that his phone was left there, but it didn't look like it was a struggle. It didn't look like that somebody had hauled him off or that he had been attacked. It looked like he just set his phone down there and walked off and forgot it. Okay, so his body hasn't been found. No remains have been found. Now my lighting is doing stupid things. So no remains have been found. Nothing has been found other than that cell phone. And then, of course, his truck was parked outside where he said it would be, where he normally parks and then walks up the canyon. So conspiracy theorists go crazy on this one because they say that he had come across a cave that was probably the exit of a tunnel that went underground and connected to Area 51. Now, we do know through some different leaks, documents, and from different whistleblowers that there's supposedly a vast underground tunnel system under the area and that it does come out in some of the caves nearby. So the fact that he could have been doing that could have been legitimate. But we're going to dig into this and we're going to see what we can find. Now, this has been 10 years since this man disappeared, but you're going to find that he has a bit of an odd personality. You're going to find that he had a little bit of mental health issues, maybe, perhaps. You're also going to find that he's done some very strange things before this all happened. And so we're going to talk about that. There are some theories out there. There's, of course, since Area 51 is included in the story, they're going to say that he was taken. He saw something he wasn't supposed to, and he was taken by what I like to call Mr. Mick, the military industrial blah blah blah. I don't know if YouTube will ban that word, so we're going to just skip it. We're going to call it Mr. Mick. So I'm not sure if he got too close to Mr. Mick and was taken care of because he saw stuff he wasn't supposed to, or if he literally got out there and took things to the extreme a little too far and choked and fell and had problems. I don't know. Cricket, tell me what you think.
Well, with all those caves there, though, how do we know he didn't get in one of those caves? They didn't check caves. They only checked the mine shafts and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my camera's doing funny things, and then I had a choke on top of everything else.
In the mountains, there's so many holes, like so many caves. And obviously, he didn't fall into something.
Right. Well, here's the thing. If he had mental health, so before we get into it, let's start out by laying out the basic theories. Theory 1, he got too close to Mr. Mick and was taken out because of it. Taken out. Theory 2, and this is the one with the tinfoil hat.
The aliens.
Okay, pulling my Michael Jackson vibes here. Theory 2. He found a portal to another dimension, and now he's hidden. He's been transferred all the way down to the Antarctic, and he's hidden in a Nazi submarine that's been down there for since World War II. So there's that theory, of course. There's the theory that oh wait, I should have left that on. Aliens from outer space. There's all kinds of theories with that, but then there's also some a little bit more practical theories. This man was having some mental health issues. This man had a kind of an odd turned personality. And he had some things that I would, from studying behavioral psychology and different trauma responses and how to help trauma victims. To me, it seems like he might. I thought I seen some red flags, but of course I was looking at it from a different standpoint. So I'm thinking, okay, this man's got some red flags in his behavior leading up to this. So could he have gone out to finish everything out there and just never return? Could he have taken his outdoorsman, big and bad macho persona that he tries to portray? Could he have taken that to the extreme? And he ended up paying the ultimate price for it. And then, of course, there's one more theory that he decided that he was just going to go off grid and he was going to start a whole new life under a different pseudonym in there. So those are our basic theories, and we're gonna go through each one of those and see which one we can find. Now, Tammy, I haven't heard much from you.
Well, whenever you started talking about Area 51, your lights started messing up, don't you?
Yeah, and then I had a coughing fit. So yeah, I had a coughing fit when I put the hat on, and my light started screwing up as soon as I said Area 51. So I'm sure
the aliens aren't happy with you.
No, they're mad because I keep taking off my tinfoil hat.
There's several things that
I want you guys to understand. I don't know about Cricket. I think she's into him a little bit, but Tammy and I, we are like conspiracy theory nuts. We love conspiracy theory. We would listen to conspiracy theory 24 hours a day, and we'd be like, "Oh yeah, I kind of probably believe that one. No, that one's kind of stupid, but I believe that one." But when it comes to it, I'm like, this one.
Yeah, with his outdoor skills, like I was telling Sonova earlier, if I was doing a search to look for somebody, I would not choose him to come search because he is unsafe.
Yeah. Okay, so his channel, everybody wants to call him a YouTuber, and I'm like, he's not a YouTuber. He literally has 5 random videos on his channel, and that he's not what I would call now. He's got 71,000 subscribers, and his M Cave hike has 3.6 million views. That's because he's been missing for 10 years. They've built this huge conspiracy theory around him, and nobody's running this channel. And it's just sitting there collecting views. And so there have been hundreds of YouTubers, hundreds of outdoors people. I usually say outdoorsmen, but it could be outdoor women. So hundreds of outdoor enthusiasts, hundreds of little internet sleuths, everything. There's been hundreds of people go through this area and literally take his video footage and try to trace his steps and try to find this M cave. Now, you have to understand, in this area, the way the rocks are formed, there are a lot of different rocks that crash against each other like this. So the fact that it's an M shape, there's actually, when you watch his own videos, you will find he passes a few things that are, I would class as M shaped. So the fact that it's M-shaped doesn't have any meaning within itself, other than that's the way he could describe it to other people. So I'm going to open a video here. I'm going to let the commercial play here, and then I'm going to share my screen. So give me just a second here.
Was you doing the sharing
so-
contest tonight?
I'm sorry, what?
Was you doing the sharing contest tonight?
Yes. We'll do a sharing contest. Everybody that shares post that you've shared, and we will draw on at the end. For those of you family members that are still waiting on a books, I haven't been able to get my box of books, so please be patient with me. Okay, so we're going to do a share screen here, and I want you guys to just see who this man is. Okay, and of course, this is Kenny Veach's own YouTube channel. So girls, let me know when you can see
It's
that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so his.
Well, here I am on my.
Can you guys hear him? Okay.
It just froze
Can
up.
you hear when he
Yeah.
talks? Okay.
Yeah.
Up here in the mountains north of Las Vegas. This is a canyon I just walked up in. Now you can't tell, but my truck is way out there by the mountains at the very, very end of this valley. It's kind of like a big canyon. On the other side of these mountains, I'll show you in a second, is the bombing range, the Nellis Air Force bombing range.
Okay, take note of that. He just pointed over here to his left and said that is where the bombing range is. Okay, so this is what he says. He rattles on a little bit. We're going to skip it around here, and then he's going to tell you where he's going to go. All right, so he's going to show you that little thing, and then here
that mountain.
So he's going to tell you where he's going. So he's going to say he's going to go down the canyon, and then he's going to describe where he's going to go.
Because I came down this valley, you'll see this valley, but I'll be out there where the desert's flat. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. I'll be way, way, way out there where the desert's flat. And then I got to walk all the way down, all the way back to way out there, and then I got to come back up and find my truck. So it's going to be a long time. And then hopefully I'll find that cave.
So, but he
over this mountain,
right here,
and then I drop way down this mountain into a canyon, and I head off in that direction. I just go that direction.
Okay, so he's spends the next few minutes telling you what his hike is and what he's planning on doing. But keep in mind, he just told you where the bombing range is. Okay, he just told you where the bombing range is, and then he turns around and says he's going to go down the canyon, and then he's going to cut back this way, and he's going to go that way, and he tells you he's going directly towards the bombing area. He says he's going down the canyon. He's going to circle around. He's going to go this now. The concept, this is the one thing that makes me think that there could still be, this is what gives me the hope, and that there maybe is a conspiracy left there. Because here's the thing, you're going to find that he made a lot of comments, and he fought back and forth with his internet trolls for 4 months before he finally gets to go back out there, because it's in the middle of summer, and he didn't want to go out there and die of a heat stroke in the middle of the summer in the desert. So he waited till fall so he could get back out there. So during that 4 months, he's in these heated debates online about, yes, this is a real place. Yes, I went there, and this is what I experienced. So in some of those comments, you're going to hear some key details. You're going to hear that the ground rumbles and shakes because it's close to the bombing range. You're going to also hear that he said he will mention drones. He'll see military drones going over. So he's close to that military complex. So he's going to see these different things before he finds this cave, and then he gets this overwhelming, strange feeling, which could be a different types of weapons. If you get some different subsonic frequencies and sounds, you can cause different reactions in the human body. You can, different things can cause, maybe it's radiation. You can go through and find all these different technical things that he could be sensing in this area. But like I talked to Cricket before, you and I are going to listen to a few things from his own words that he says he likes to push his body to the extreme. in this video that we're watching right here, he says that he's got water with him and a candy bar. He's got one jug of water and a candy bar, and he's got a cooler full of beer waiting for him in the car. Okay. And he can't wait to get back to that cooler full of beer. Okay, well, that's fine. But then you'll find that he says he's been hiking for 7 or 8 hours. He's only taken 2 small gulps of water because he wants to see how far his body can go before he really needs that water, because he likes to push things to the extreme. So I'm saying if he's already hiked for 7 hours in the heat of the desert in Nevada, sure, it's the first part of November, but it ain't cold out there. And he's hiked for 7 hours with 2 small drinks of water. It's not beyond the realm of possibility that he gets to this cave, and by then he is dehydrated and he's starting to lose it a bit. So here's our 2 main options. You know, when you think about how he likes to push things, he likes to push the envelope and then gloat about it and tell people about it. And I'm like, well, that's fine for you, but it's very reckless behavior, you know. So the only thing that to me that lends his story credence at all is the fact that it's close to Area 51. If it wasn't close to Area 51, I don't think anybody would have given this man the time of day. And that may sound harsh, and I'm not meaning it to be, but in reality, his story isn't legitimate. The only thing that gives it a slight tinge of legitimacy is the fact that he has told you he is hiking right next to this testing facility for the military. So to me, that's the only thing that gives it a little bit of legitimacy outside of the fact, and I'm not saying that he's lying, by no means. I'm saying he could have felt something, he could have experienced something, but it could have been the fact that he's been out there for 10 hours with no water, because dehydration in the desert can cause you to see and hallucinate and do all sorts of things.
And also, he advertised when he was going back out, if you think about it, to go with the conspiracy. He advertised that he was going back out there. And that is not a place that you want them to know you're coming out. They have their perimeter, but then miles outside of that perimeter, you can't even get close to.
Right.
And he
well, and
advertised.
to me, if he's close enough, he's seeing military drones and he's feeling vibration. Okay, whether you're inside their fence or not, which, you know, this stuff isn't all fenced off either. I mean, it's not like a barbed wire fence all the way around this complex. It's the rugged desert. So you can cross over in these things sometimes without actually crossing a fence per se. So to me, the fact that he may have stumbled too close to something is definitely a possibility. But I want to go into kind of telling you some of the comments and things that he's made. Okay. Tammy, before we get into his comments, did you have anything to add?
I was wondering if that was his final video that he made, the one you were just showing. You know, because
yes. See, he made this video. He made this video and posted it, and he was real confident that he could just find it again real quick. And he didn't find it. And then so he went ahead and posted it anyways, and then he got more internet trolls, and he's like, I am going to go out there and I'm going to hike until I find the place. If I don't find it in 3 days, I'm going to keep crossing mountains until I find it. Okay. So I'm thinking, I have a theory. To me, him posting this video of not finding it may have actually made it worse because he's got more internet trolls. Okay, so let me read to you his comment. Now, his channel, if you guys want to check it out, and I suggest you do if you're interested in this case, it's called Snake Bit McGee. Now, the reason why he says that is because he likes to play with rattlesnakes, and he even got bit and hospitalized by rattlesnakes, and he still plays with rattlesnakes for fun. And it's like he does things to put himself in dangerous situations, and it's like he gets a thrill from it. And so this is the type of person we're talking about. We're not talking about the type of hiker that will take all the provisions they need and be overly cautious and later on you'll find out that this woman who there's some discrepancy. Some people say it was his ex-girlfriend and they weren't actually together at the time. And then other people say it was his girlfriend at the time that he went missing. There's a lot of discrepancy around her. We're going to not try to get into her too much. We're going to try to keep this on Kenny as much as possible. But in reality, she said that she tried to get him to stop hiking in the desert alone. And he refused. He liked it. She tried to get him to stop going outside of cell phone range. He wouldn't do it. She tried to get him to take a GPS, and he wouldn't do it. He liked being. He somehow got off on pushing the envelope just a little farther than what's comfortable for most people to do. So the people around him were trying to get him to be a little more cautious, and that was just not him. Okay, so he titled his channel Snakebit McGee. This is the comment that started the mystery forever. This is the comment that started this whole mess. Hang on, I gotta get a drink of coffee. I don't know why. It must be the tinfoil hat and the aliens bothering me, because I feel like I'm half choking the whole time. Sarcasm, people. Sorry.
You got aliens outside your window?
Well, can just stay outside. I got things to do. I'm working. No beaming me up right now. I got crap to do. So this is the comment that started it all. Okay. And I want you to listen to the verbiage in this. And we're going to make a point by this. Okay. So this is the comment where he's commenting on somebody else's YouTube channel, and this was a whistleblower type video where the son of someone who was in the military was saying his dad told him when he was drunk, kind of thing. And he was talking about all of these strange, dangerous weapons that were being tested by the military, and what they would do to the human body if somebody was hit with one of these rays or whatever. And so this is what Kenny Veach said. "This ain't nothing. I'm a long distance hiker. One time during one of my hikes out by Nellis Air Force Base, I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. I always enter every cave I find, but as I began to enter this particular one, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly, I became very scared and hightailed it out of there. This is one of the strangest things that's ever happened to me." That was the thing that started this whole thing. Okay. So, for one, this is the concept of, I always go into every cave I find, I'm looking for his comments where he was talking about how big and bad he was. Cricket, did you happen to find those?
No.
Okay. I'll have to
go from I was memory. Looking for those when I found that other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So in his comments, you will find that he made all these big boastful claims. He wanted to talk about how big it was, and I wish I could find it, because I really wanted to. I wanted to talk about his personality, and he over dramatizes everything he's talking about. And he's talking about, well, I went over here, and then I ran up here, and then I went 10 miles this way, and when I hike, it's hard on you, and I'll lose a couple toenails because they'll turn black and fall off, and just on this rambling narrative of how big and bad he is. Okay. And I'm like, well, here, to me, this is where I feel like hang on. I feel like it shows his true personality right there. Hang on. I'm going to type this in, see if I can find it. Because I really would like his own words here. if I could find it, because to me, this is where I feel like you can really see who this man is. Cricket, say something while I'm looking.
I was reading some of the comments. Yeah, no, but it doesn't surprise me at all that that he would feel that in that area. It doesn't.
No.
And I'm
to me, it
surprised.
really.
And I'm surprised he got that close, because I've seen videos where people are just, they don't even realize where they are. And then you got the four-wheelers coming out with the guns. So
right.
he could
To
have
me,
been
this is
or
yeah. Well, I wish I could find the comments where he's talking and not somebody referencing. Right now, only thing I'm finding is where people are referencing his stuff.
Yeah, that
but
was my problem.
Yeah, this is what I want you to know. It's like he has to over dramatize everything that he does. He has to talk about how he likes to push things past how far he could go. He likes to, show that he likes to play. He goes, "What do you mean? You think I'm lying? I play with rattlesnakes for fun." What does playing with rattlesnakes for fun have to do with if you're lying or not? That's a
Exactly.
very defensive answer that says how dare you discredit, how dare you contradict what I say. And it's a very emotionally childish way to handle things. I have got a lot of internet trolls and haters. I have some that are very vicious and attack me personally constantly. I have some that will send me big long pages telling me how fat and ugly and stupid I am. And I have never once gone back and said, hey, and try to make myself look big and powerful to them. I've never once, I have made one video addressing all of my internet trolls and told them without even saying their names, which really makes them mad when I won't give them that credit. Told them all that I have better things to do with my time, and I moved on. And they still attack me every little bit. But this is the thing. He didn't do this. He had to constantly be pushing and fighting with these people. No, I promise, I did this. And it's very, very childish way to respond to these things. And I'm not judging or trying to be disrespectful or discredit this person. I'm saying this kind of shows his mental state. Okay. Now you'll also find out that Kenny Veach has on his channel, he has some other strange things. Now he actually, I'm going to present this video. Okay. Now 14 months before he goes missing, he had been on a job. Was it 14 years or 17 years, Tammy? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
I think it was 17.
He had been on a job either 14 or 17 years. And he decided that he was going to quit and he was going to live off of his savings and he was going to go start his own life and do his own thing. And he wasn't gonna work for nobody else again. He was gonna do his own thing. Well, one of these things that he decided to do is he was going to try to invent things, and he was going to sell them to Shark Tank. So we're going to present this video here, and I'm going to show you this video here. Okay, and it's titled Quirky Shark Tank Submission. Okay, let me know when you can see it, girls.
It's there.
Okay, new improved TP holder.
Hello everyone at Quirky. My name is Kenny Veach, and I invented the new improved toilet paper roll holder for the household. It works great, and it's my own little invention, and I'm going to show you how it works. First, I'm just going to demonstrate it. When you run out of a roll of paper, you've got two decorative knobs. Everything looks like a regular one, except it'll be like that. And then it runs out. You just pull that, put the other one in, and let go. And right now it's not precise because I used hand tools, but you get the picture. It works perfect, and it's beautiful. And that's it.
Okay, so we're talking. It's a toilet paper holder. Those have been invented before. It is not beautiful. It is not perfect. And yet this is the verbiage that we have. And the reason being is because I feel like this person has maybe a deep-seated inferiority complex that he's trying to adjust for. And this is just me. Like I said, I'm not criticizing or anything like this. This is just my observations. You're going to find out that he has 2 or 3 more of those, and then he's going to have this very strange video here that I'm going to share. And by this point, he is starting to run out of money. So he literally tries to sell himself with his house. He tries to sell himself with his house. His idea was he was going to be the caretaker of the home, and somebody else would buy the home and use it as a vacation home, and then he would live in it for the rest of the year, and they would basically pay him to take care of his own house.
And they had to keep it as it is.
I'm like that. Everything this man does to me seems just a slightly askew. Okay, slightly askew. That doesn't really make sense in a common everyday setting. Okay, that might be something. It's like everything he does is very fanciful. Okay, sure, he might find a rich sugar mama who will buy the house and let him live in it and be her pool boy. I don't know, but most people, when they go to sell their house, this isn't in their normal logical realm of thinking. Okay, so he's very fanciful. It's like he everything's just a little bit askew. Okay, so we're gonna. I notice, this is his video that he's uploaded. It says handsome cowboy sells himself with his home. Very cringe. I mean, okay, so we're gonna watch just a hair of it, just a little bit of this. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Kenny, and I have an offer, a proposal, if you will. And it has to do with the house that I am standing in. And by the time you finish watching this video, you will know exactly what I'm talking about and what I'm offering. So what I plan on doing is selling this home in a unique, kind of an unusual fashion, out of the ordinary, because I'm a kind of guy that likes to think outside of the box. So, and that's one of the ways I was able to create this beautiful home I'm standing in. Now, this house is only approximately just under 4 years old. It's beautiful in every way. It's perfect and clean, and there's not a spot anywhere on any of the walls. And I'm putting this house up for sale along with me. I'm offering myself along with the house. So that's the niche, that's the unusual thing right there. So by the time this video is finished, you will know exactly what I'm offering, what I'm talking about, and hopefully you'll have fun watching the video, and we'll see, we'll see what happens. I hope you enjoy the video, and I will be.
Okay, so we're going to stop it there. This video is 1 hour and 5 minutes long, and basically he takes you through the house and he shows you the house, and it gives you this very unusual sales pitch. And so you're like, again,
You mean
everything is just slightly. Nobody really does this. And Joanne says, I haven't heard anything about his family. That's the thing. There isn't a lot to mention. He has a daughter, but she's not mentioned in any of these videos. And she was basically of age or pretty close to it by the time this happened. She obviously wasn't living with him because he was in this house alone. There has been different stories that come out that the woman that actually called in the missing persons report was a girlfriend, but then a lot of the one newspaper that reported at the time, and the few things that were reported at the time of his disappearance, called her his ex-girlfriend, which I'm assuming if the local reporter called you his ex-girlfriend, it's not because the local reporter thinks he's dead. I think it is she was probably his ex-girlfriend. So I find that odd. But then you'll find when the video that was made and is on the short documentary that was made about his life is on Amazon Prime, she is classed as his girlfriend. So I don't know if that was just a misunderstanding at the beginning, or if it's just convenient to be his girlfriend now. I have no idea. There's no judgments there. I'm just this is one of those things where, you know, it could be a giant conspiracy that maybe it's just more profitable to be his girlfriend after he's gone. You know, there's my tinfoil hat for you. So I had to put my hat on for that one. So I don't know. She may be his loving love of his life, and you know, and this is the most horrible thing that's ever happened to her. So, you know, I'm not discrediting that story. I'm just saying it's just odd. Some things show her as his girlfriend, and some things say ex-girlfriend. And again, I'm holding up my evidence bag to make my camera do what it's supposed to do. So, so again, this is just
I'd like
another
to know why it
picture
took.
of him doing something slightly odd. Okay, and so I mean, because people are raised differently, people do things differently, people see the world differently. But the few people that you see that you will see some different interviews about will say that he was a big kid, and to me, being a big kid is one thing, but it's almost like there's a little more to it than that. It's not just he likes to goof around and play and have a good time. There, to me, I'm wondering if there's a little bit something more. Is there something else, you know, that could be classed as maybe a personality disorder? Could there have been some mental health issues? Could there have been something else? Because everything is slightly askew. Now, of course, we're judging a man who's 47 years old based on 5 videos and a ton of conspiracy theories. So here, you know, just to give him the benefit of the doubt, this just could be his little fun, quirky side. So we don't know. But I do know that he had been off of work for 14 months. According to the girlfriend, he was running low on money. I would say that that could be fairly accurate, because how many people put their house up for sale on YouTube, for one? And he didn't have very many followers or anything like that at the time. So it's not like he had a million followers and he was going to sell his house to somebody. Most people don't put their house for sale on YouTube. And I don't know anybody that's tried to sell their house and themselves at the same time.
Right.
You know, so
I can't believe the house didn't sell.
I know. And I mean, it's handsome cowboy. I'm like, according to who? I mean, who said handsome cowboy? I'm like,
And just think, you'd have all the toilet paper rolls probably included with the
and they're
house.
beautiful and they're perfect.
Yeah, and they're spring loaded.
And they're spring loaded, you know, and they're going to be set like this, not like this, you know. But I'm sitting here going, you know, I'm not trying to make fun of somebody, but I am. Sorry. It's like, okay, I need to. Here's my problem with this. The reason why all of this is, I bring all of this up. I want this to be a conspiracy. I want him to be abducted by aliens. I want him to find a portal and be on some kind of spaceship to Mars. I want him to be part of a government conspiracy that he found something he wasn't supposed to and the big bad Mr. Mick took him out. I want so bad for it to be a conspiracy. But I look at this as a true crime case. This is a case where a man obviously had some kind of little bit of issues. He looked at the world just a little bit different. He was playful. He was goofy. He was fun. He was very childlike. He took things to extreme and actually put himself in danger by doing so. He had been warned and asked profusely to do things differently, but that was just the way he did. All of that shows me a little bit more of a childlike mental capacity. And so I'm asking, is this a more legitimate concept behind this man's disappearance versus the fact that he may have stumbled upon something that he shouldn't see. Now, this is where I try really hard not to be offensive to nobody, because he does have a daughter. I believe he has a brother and sister-in-law still alive. I don't know if his mother is still alive or not. But this is where we want to understand that we kind of need to know who this person is so we can kind of get a better idea of where he ended up. Now, all these people have gone out there and searched. Yes, there's places you could go if you wanted to end everything. But you would still, after 10 years, a scrap of you would show up somewhere. A wild animal would find a piece of you and drag it out to where someone would find it. And that hasn't happened. We haven't seen any of his gear. We haven't seen anything from him whatsoever. Except, and this is a conspiracy that he's still alive. He's still alive. He ran off, and we have video evidence to prove it. Video evidence! Yay! Videos can't possibly be misinterpreted or misread or manipulated in any way. But we're gonna talk about that. Okay, do either one of you girls have a comment before we go on into our theory of he just ran off and disappeared?
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. Tammy?
Well, I thought what stood out to me was that his cell phone was found near the mine shaft. That made me wonder.
But it was found where he was.
Yeah, his cell phone was left on that platform like it was just set there. It wasn't crushed. It wasn't fall off the side or smashed underneath something else, or it was just sitting there. Like he set it down and walked off.
My biggest question is, why did it take that woman 7 days to call?
Well, because when would you know for sure that he gave up? Because he specifically said, I'm going to be there for at least 3 nights, and I'm going to keep walking till I find that cave. And he's hard-headed enough to do it. And if he'd had enough beer in his camper...
Right?
Sorry. Cricket messaged me the other day when we started this, and she goes, I think I'm going to go hiking in the desert. I've got a candy bar and a bottle of beer. I was like, okay, Cricket, I'll see you in a couple days. But to me, this is, we're laughing and joking. It's a very serious thing. Don't go out in the desert hiking, long haul hiking here for hours and hours and days on end. Don't go out there with a candy bar and a trunk load of beer. Be smart about this, people. Come on, use your head. And this is something that I have a feeling if I had met this person in real life, if I had met him before all this happened, I would be constantly going, hey, use your head. Use your head. Don't do that. Don't pick up that dumb rattlesnake. You've already been bit before. How many times are you going to get bit before you stop picking them up? So what he perceives as making him big and bad would actually irritate the snot out of me. I'd be like, come on, straighten up. I would not function well with this person because I'm just like, come on, be smart. Come on. And some people, that's just, but they were saying that was his way. He enjoyed pushing things to the limit and then telling people that he pushed it to the limit. And to me, that kind of hides a bit of inferiority complex, or it could be he's more childlike than just in his personality. And we'll just leave it that way. I
couldn't believe he was 47.
Yeah, he's 47. So, I mean, he's obviously having some sort of midlife crisis because he's 47. He quits his job of 14 or 17 years. And he's just going to live off of his savings and just do what he wants and live out there hiking and just, he's going to, well, who wouldn't want to do that? But most people are responsible enough that they don't. I mean, they don't go in and give everything that they have and make new and improved toilet paper rolls and live their life out in the middle of the desert. Now, there's one theory that he just ran off. Now, and the reason why they say that is it was 7 years after this man went disappeared there was a robbery. Now, his sister-in-law had a store uh, in a nearby town, and it was kind of a shop where you would buy, different types of rocks and crystals and things like that. Now, if you look at this video footage, you will see this man. He steps through an open window, he races around the desk, and it's like he knows exactly where this little laptop is. He grabs the laptop and he runs out. And when his sister-in-law seen it, she flipped out because she believes it's him. She believes that Kenny Veach actually robbed her shop, and she showed it to his daughter, and she thinks, yes, that's my dad. Now, that video, according to the Y Files, which I'll give them a shout out. If you like conspiracy theories, check out the Y Files. They said that it has been run through face recognition software, and they don't believe it is him. But according to the family, they believe it is. And so, could he be out there living in the desert that he so much loved? Could he be out there living off the desert, living off the land, and hiding for 10 years and nobody find him? Could he be there?
And
I don't think so. But
I don't think so.
And breaking in and
what do you
stealing
say?
an iPad. So he's living in the desert.
Well, and
with
that's neat.
an iPad.
Exactly.
Well, you go
Yeah,
plug
and
in
someone
it
said,
with
well,
a
maybe his
laptop.
iPad broke, and yeah, maybe his laptop or his whatever it was, maybe his device broke and he needed another one. And so he broke in to get it. And I'm sitting here going, all of these things.
And if
And
he,
I swear I want to make one video where I don't say this phrase. This only makes sense if you're on dope. I want to make one video where I don't say that. Are you on drugs? That's the only way that would make sense. Yes, I don't have food. I don't have shelter. I am sun-baked from being out in the desert for 10 years. I look like a leather biscuit on two legs, and I'm going to go steal a technology. I'm going to go steal a laptop or an iPad.
Here's why I don't
water
believe
and
he's
food, and maybe he should have stole beer and candy bars.
You're right.
Then I would have thought it was him.
Here's why I don't believe he's been in the desert for all these years. With that little amount of water that he takes, he'd have been dehydrated.
Mm-hmm. Be dehydrated. Well, see, to me, they said, well, there's a theory that maybe there was a insurance policy, and the girlfriend cashed it in and then helped him escape, and he's living in Mexico somewhere. And I'm sitting here going, for one, the police could not find out that he had any kind of life insurance. For two, none of his belongings were taken. So, like, nobody came to claim any of his stuff. Nobody come to claim his house. A few years, I don't know, I can't remember. A couple of years, I guess it was, after he was missing, the bank finally foreclosed on the house and took it back. Nobody came, no sugar mamas came and bought his house. But here's my thing. If he's really hurting for money, he could have sold the house without himself. But he could have sold the house. But in reality, if you talk to his family, they say, no, he wasn't that bad off on money. He had a house payment, but that was it. He wasn't drowning in debt, about to go under. He was running out of money, but it wasn't that drastic. I tend to believe them and just think that this is the way Kenny is. I have a feeling that him selling his house along with himself as a caretaker is just the way he is. That's the way he thinks. That's the way he does. He's just kind of quirky and a little bit odd. And so I don't necessarily think that is, some people have pointed to that to say he must have been really desperate. Well, if he was really desperate, he would have put that thing, he would have called a realtor and he would have sold the thing, whether he wanted to leave the place or not. That's what desperation is. Putting some kind of weird random video on YouTube, hoping to find a sugar mama to buy him in his house, that doesn't point to desperation. That just points to oddity to me.
Yeah, because he could have sold all his.
I don't think that was him in the video, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, all of his little things that he's collected that he cherishes that are in the house, and we're gonna stay in the house. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He wanted
to sell his house but still have control of his house.
Exactly.
And I'm like, be
homeless with a home.
The way that works. Yeah, yeah. Joanne says it sounds like he was trying to prove himself instead of his theory. And the thing is I don't necessarily discount that he's seen something out in the desert that day because
Oh,
of
I
where
don't
he
either.
was and the fact that he is so extreme. Now, there was one thing that lends to this hat. There is one thing that everybody wants to hang on to, and let me see if I can find that. I bet I'm the only YouTuber that wears tinfoil.
I wore tinfoil on my hat at the end of the world party.
Okay, so this is one thing that makes people think, okay, this is something else that lends towards the Area 51. That's itchy. The Area 51 thing. When he posted that he was going to go out again and he was going to find it no matter what, he got a random comment on his YouTube
Oh, well, I was
video.
going to
It says,
ask about this.
no exclamation point. Do not go back there. If you find that cave entrance, don't go in. If you do, you won't get out. And then he says, what makes you say that? And nobody responded. So everybody wants to take that as, okay, Mr. Mick was giving him a warning, don't go back there. And he didn't follow the warning, so he got taken out when he went back. I hope that's true. Just because I like a good conspiracy. But in reality, I think this guy is kind of a little bit of a nut. And he likes to push things too far. And no matter how many warnings he got, he was going to do it anyways. And he was going to do it without the provisions he needed. And I think his extremeness, no judgment, you can be as extreme as you want to be, but I'm thinking, no matter what you like or don't, I mean, this society tries to change this, but there is something in life called consequences, and this society doesn't like that. But it's true; it's a universal law. It's going to happen of cause and effect. So the thing with it is eventually his extreme behavior was going to catch up to him. And I have a very sneaking feeling that that's what happened to this man. I don't believe that he was zapped off by aliens or that he that he found a portal and now he's in the Antarctica, area. There is, ugh, maybe it's just my heart wanting it to be. There is a chance that he saw too much in a cave because he told you in that video that he was going right over there to the bombing site. My thought is stay away from the freaking bombing site. Do you want to end up in 10,000 pieces? I don't know. Cricket, say something. I'm getting frustrated.
Yeah, it is insane. And so much crazy stuff does happen there that I do not I agree that he felt something in that cave, around that cave.
Right.
I don't doubt that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But these other things, it's just, and I'm sorry, but you can't live on pine nuts.
No, not forever. You might.
And he was putting
that might get you through another hour or two till you can get back to your your car.
Yeah, and then drive away intoxicated.
Exactly. Well, see, that's my thing. Cricket, you and I talked about this. Like, what was he going to do? He's going to hike for 10, 12 hours, literally get himself nearly dehydrated to the point of needing hospitalization. And then he's going to go overhydrate himself with however many beers he has in that cooler. And then he's going to drive home.
That's why I don't believe his water story, because if you're out in the desert that many hours and that many days, you have to have more than one bottle of water.
Well, and see, that's the thing. I think he probably did have one bottle of water. because he likes to push it. But then I'm sitting here going, if that is the case, then that makes sense why you would have hallucinations when you got to some weird
Yeah.
looking cave, because you've been out there for 10 hours
Yep.
in 9,000 degree heat. There's some exaggeration for you. But everything he did, it's like he exaggerated and made it big, and everything, it was always like, look how big and bad I am. And he even said, if you don't like it, all of you internet trolls can come out here and try to keep up with me, kind of. And I'm like,
Yeah.
leave them alone. If they have nothing better to do than to sit around and nitpick people on the internet, let them do it. It wasn't hurting him any. He could have just not answered any more of the comments and went on
Yep.
about his day. And
And
so
if
to me, it's like people don't grow. People grow age-wise, but a lot of times they don't progress emotionally. So they're stunted at an emotional age. And to me, everything he did was childlike, because emotionally he seemed like an irresponsible teenager. You got these teenagers who want to do things. I know, because I have a teenager. But it's like, when I was a kid, there was this radio station that I always listened to, and they did birthdays at the top of the hour. And if you were 13, they said the brain fairy came and took your brain, and you get it back when you're 21. I contend you get it back about 25. But anyways, it's true. It's like they do random stupid things, and you're like, what were you thinking? And they're like, well, I wasn't thinking. I'm like, that's true. But to me, it almost seems like this is the level emotionally that this man was stuck at. So I'm going to bring you the last very sad theory before we close, because we're running way over time. The last theory, and this is the only thing that we have to verify this, is that girlfriend, which is kind of suspicious. You can look into all of the theories around her. I'm not going to go into that. This is a story about Kenny, not her. She says that his father had committed the S word that we can't say on YouTube. Because YouTube's stupid and thinks that if you say the S word, it's going to cause people to do that. I contend that if you don't talk about it, it's going to make the problem worse. But anyways, YouTube will demonetize you if you say the S word. But I guess Kenny's father had done that, and then Kenny was the one that found him. And so he had battled depression off and on for years. And supposedly when the officers came in and was searching his stuff and everything, they found some things on his computer where he was researching some things, and about the S word and about depression. And he had a document that he had written "help me" several times on. Now, this is the thing. If that's the case, I have a theory on that as well. There was a teenage girl who was harassing a teenage boy who was extremely depressed by text message a few years back. And she harassed him until he did the S word. And she ended up getting taken to court and charged with manslaughter. And I just hope that when we look at this case, and when they do find Mr. Kenny, hopefully they find him alive, and hopefully he's off the grid. Hopefully he's in Antarctica, sipping Mai Tais with Hitler and Elvis and all the other people that supposedly be off somewhere. I hope all that's true. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this person was mentally fragile, emotionally fragile, and these internet trolls pushed him to the point that he couldn't keep up. Did he take his extremism that day too far because he was pushed by internet trolls to find it and he couldn't find it? Did he keep walking off into the desert because he felt he had failed because he could not find it again? Did he do something to himself because he felt pressured by these internet trolls. This is where trolling really becomes a problem. I have had some serious trolls that have hurt me deeply. And I've had issues in the past with depression myself. So I can see how someone who is overwhelmed, someone who cares deeply, someone who's a little childlike, someone who cares what these people are saying about him, could go out into the desert and push himself too far, push himself too hard, and it ended very badly. And if that's what's happened, I think we need to take a strong look at the internet trolls, because people think they can get online and say anything and everything they want. They think they can terrorize people. And I'll be honest with you. I wish we could go back to the 80s to where if somebody wanted to say something hateful to you, they said it to your face and you could punch them in the face. Because used to, when you said words, there were physical consequences. So people kept their stupid mouths shut. Okay. And this is where I get very heated, and I'm trying to make this light and fun in honor of a man who was light and fun. That's why I made the tinfoil hat. That's why I've been goofy and sarcastic. But in reality, I feel like we have a missing persons case because we had an emotionally fragile a man that was going through things that nobody understood. And internet trolls drove him past his capacity. And now we have a 10-year-old missing persons case. And that poor man's probably out there somewhere and just in the wilderness where he's not found, because he was so desperate to prove himself to some internet trolls who don't give a crap about him. And so this is the thing that I want you guys to remember when you think about Kenny Veach. He was goofy. He was quirky. He was kind of odd. He was eccentric, whatever you want to call him. He was a poor hurting soul that somebody drove too far. And that's where I think it is. Because even if he did find a military something or other in that cave, and it scared him the first time, he was willing to put himself back in that scary, harmful situation to appease the likes of you people. All of you trolls out there. And that's where we want to be careful. You are your brother's keeper. You do need to watch your mouth online. You know, everything we've goofed around and said, about this, there's no judgment towards Kenny Veach. His girlfriend, his daughter, his family, no judgment. Just observations that could lead to a conclusion. And that's what you need to realize. Internet trolls can cause death. And I have a very sinking feeling that that's the way this case ends. We still don't have a body. We have no evidence. We have slight glimmer of hope because there was one guy hiking and he thought he ran into Kenny Veach and he made a video. Doesn't this guy sound like Kenny Veach? And the family's like, no, that's not him. So everybody's hoping for the best for this guy. And I do too. Maybe he is so big and bad that he's hiding out there in the caves himself and he's laughing at the world. I don't know. Hopefully he is. And if he is, kudos to you. But in the meantime, watch what you say on the internet. Don't go all out and terrorize people online. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what kind of pain they're suffering. Whether you agree with them or whether you not, keep your freaking mouth shut if you're not willing to take a fist to the face for what you're saying. Okay? All right. Anybody, girls, you have something else to say? I'm done preaching. Did I put you to sleep? Are you still there, Cricket? Cricket, did I lose you? I think I lost Cricket.
You might have, because I know she had a hard time getting on.
I did lose Cricket. Yeah. So, Tammy, what do you think? Do you have anything to say?
Well, I think there's a lot of interesting things about this case that we didn't go into. We could have went into a lot more, but
absolutely, we could go into so many. There's so many rabbit trails on this case. Is ridiculous how many rabbit trails we had on this case. We could have gone down so many, and I wanted to wear the hat more. my camera's just not allowing me.
Yeah, I think if anybody wants to study or look at anything interesting, look at a lot of all the videos on this, because there is a lot of interesting stuff to it.
Well, you're going to get everything from true crime to aliens in outer space. You're going to get military, Mr. Mick. You're going to get everything imaginable when you look into this case. And I think that was what was so interesting to it. It was fun to study because you got a whole vast array of different ideas. You had some legitimate, some really out there, some woo-woo, some not so. It's a very interesting case. But I do ask you to share it, because there still is a family out there that would like to know what happened to Kenny Veach. And so that's where we're at. Okay, well, I guess I'll have you tell everybody bye. Oh, wait, we got to do our sharing contest. Okay, so did you see anybody say they shared?
On YouTube, I can see Haley and Joanne and Venus.
Okay, so guys, if you shared the video, make sure and say something real quick. Haley, Joanne, and Venus. Okay. All right. Let me check on my Facebook side to see if I see anything. If you shared, please let me know. Let's see. Venus shared 4 times. Kiska, it says Kiska Sweetie Belle said, yeah, inside a cave he could have passed a barrier. I totally agree. But I still think, I really still think that whatever the case is, he put himself in harm's way because of these internet trolls. Okay, my screen's going foggy again. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. It's really not doing well. Okay. All right, so we're going to do the wheel of names. I'm going to spin. Joanne. Joanne, you are our winner. Now, I have this bag of evidence. Gifts. So, okay. I have so many good things to give away here. And some of these things have been donated by Miss Cricket. So, I'm going to pull just something random out of the bag. And we're going to see what we can find. Okay, now that's a bullet. Probably don't want that. Joanne. Okay. There's so many things crammed in here. Okay, here we go. Darn it, get out. Okay, now, okay, here we go. This is it's tin, so it's like a little sign. It's metal. It has a little sign. It says, "Let's Talk True Crime." Okay, and then I'm also going to be giving out, I have a few more of these Timmy D's bracelets. Now, for those of you that don't know, Timmy D's is one of the stories in my new book, Madhouse, Madison County. On this side, it says The Lawless Files. That is not my podcast. That is a podcast that helped out Barbara and Timmy D's mom really a whole lot. So I will be giving this out, and this little sign, Let's Talk True Crime. I will get that to you, Miss Joanne. And next week we will draw for some more things. So I've got this whole bag of goodies to give you guys. So we're going to have lots of gifts for a lot of Tuesdays. So make sure, share with your friends. Make sure that you're like, subscribe, and share. That really, all that BS really helps out the small channels. Make sure that you're on my mailing list. Make sure you actually get on my email list, because you'll get more information and notifications, so you won't miss any True Crime Tuesdays. So if I didn't say hi to you in the comments, I apologize. I'm having trouble with my camera, so I was having to focus on my camera more than the comments. So hello to everybody that commented. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Make sure and share Kenny Veach's story. It's very interesting. And it's a very good cautionary tale. So make sure and share it with your friends, and I will see you next Tuesday. Tammy, do you want to tell everybody bye?
Yep. Everybody have a good night.
All right. Bye, guys. I'll try not to do any more tinfoil hat cases for a while. You guys have a good one. Bye, guys.